Browns back on the practice field today, getting ready for their final preseason game against the Rams, treating this a lot like a regular season week of practice. And then, of course, they will play Saturday at Huntington Bank Field, their only preseason game. Let's talk about before practice, Mary Kay. We got to hear from Joe Flacco today, the first time we've talked to him since being named the Browns starting quarterback.
You know, Joe is so excited for this opportunity. Who thought that Joe Flacco would come back in here and win this starting job at the age of 40, his 18th season? I think even he's surprised about how all of this went down. Because if you remember, in April, he didn't even think they were going to sign him. And I asked Kevin Stefanski today, did he earn this or did he win it by default? Because all of the other guys have been injured at various points in camp. And Kevin said he earned this. We trust Joe. We have confidence in Joe. So big, huge day for Mr. Flacco.
And Ashley, at 40 years old, look, when you're a guy like Joe Flacco, you just never know when you're going to see the end. So any opportunity to start, any opportunity to go out there on Sundays and try to win football games, of course he's going to cherish this.
Yeah, and it seems like Joe just takes everything in stride. And of course, people were asking Kevin Stefanski about, well, is there a time limit on how long Joe's the starter? And Joe just is not even thinking about that. And I think there's going to be plenty of outside noise and questions about these two rookies in particular, and if we're going to see them and when. But Joe Flacco, just the best, I think, at dealing with what's in front of him.
Now, we also heard from Isaiah Bond today. The Browns officially signed him on Monday. Got a chance to talk to him today. He would not expand on his legal situation, obviously just citing that his agent, his attorney, told him not to discuss it. He stuck with that throughout his press conference. But Mary Kay, our kind of first chance to meet Isaiah since signing with the Browns.
Well, once again, he proclaimed his innocence in the sexual assault case. He's sticking to that. And as you mentioned, he's not going to elaborate on that. We're not even really supposed to pepper him with a bunch of questions about that. They kind of shut that down as quickly as they possibly could. But I did ask him one thing. Why should Browns fans feel good about having you here? And he said he plans to be a productive member of the community and a great human being as well as a great player. So hopefully for the Browns and for their fans, that is true because he brings good speed, he brings a lot of talent, and they really like him.
Yeah, and of course, Ashley, they signed him to that fully guaranteed contract. He's got a spot on this 53-man roster, and he's probably got a real chance to earn real playing time quickly.
He does, and we saw him practice today, and we saw the speed, we saw a fiery personality. We, of course, can't report on what exactly is said out on the practice field, but I think you saw some of those traits that the Browns obviously also saw, and he said, when we talked to him, he's like, I'm ready to practice, I'm going to be out there today, I'm ready to go, and we saw him get out there, and from the beginning of practice, out there playing.
Now, something to monitor, and we're recording this just after practice, so we don't have a full update on what the injury is, but Denzel Ward, in a one-on-one with Jerry Jeudy today, landed on his right side, his right shoulder, really, it looked like. He was kind of working with a trainer a little bit. Didn't really seem to want to spend much time with the trainers. It looked like he did try to go back on the field, but eventually he came off the field. He walked back in, so Mary Kay, obviously a secondary that gets very thin behind Denzel Ward. You can't afford to lose Denzel regardless of the situation, but the Browns especially can't afford to lose him for any real amount of time.
Well, of course, they have already lost another starting cornerback for the whole entire season in Martin Emerson Jr. They can't afford to lose Denzel Ward. He's one of the two stars on this football team on the defensive side of the ball, along with Myles Garrett. He's so incredibly good. Talk to anybody on this team, Grant Delpit, any of these guys, and they all call him the best cornerback in the NFL. You hear other guys talk about him like that, Jamar Chase and some of the best receivers in the NFL. They never want to go up against Denzel Ward. So if he's going to be out or miss any time, that would be huge for the Cleveland Browns. So here's hoping for the Browns and for their fans' sake that Denzel's okay.
Yeah, like I said, maybe even by the time you see this video, we've gotten a positive update about Denzel's status, but it's just something you monitor because he is so important to this defense.
Yeah, and he had a great week out in Philadelphia at joint practices last week. I mean, again, as Mary Kay said, all throughout camp, this has been the trend of his teammates talking talking about why he's one of the best corners in the league, or why he would have a legitimate chance to compete for a Defensive Player of the Year award. So I think already they're so thin in that secondary. If you lose Denzel, I think all camp we've been saying if they lose Denzel, you really got to be kind of concerned about the depth back there. So as we wait on an update, just something to keep in mind.
Well, when we do get an update, you'll find it at cleveland.com/Browns, and that's where we'll have all of our coverage of everything that happened here in Berea.